A very good evening to all my dear students. I know how enthusiastically we all have been waiting for today's session because today is last class of a very lengthy and important chapter that we have started, that is management and administration. So I hope you all have revised what we have done in the previous session. And today we will be completing all the leftover sections. Yes, definitely. Good evening, Mr. Anubhav, Soumya, Rajveer, Khushi, Almas, everyone. We will be starting from section 105, where we left in the previous class. So starting from 105 proxies, we'll be discussing about the votings and all those sections that are remaining pending. So a very warm welcome to all of you for today's session. And since the topics are too lengthy, so Mesh Singh, you're not supposed to unmute yourself. Keep yourself on mute, everyone. And if you have any queries, you can write it down in the chat box and we can take them up. So I hope, children, you have revised AGMs, EGMs, 96, 97. We had a quick revision and recap in the previous lectures also. Section 88 to 104 are completely done. Good evening, Divyanshi, Rajveer Ray, all of you. Welcome to the class. So I hope no doubt. So we have already started with the requirements of the meeting in which we have done notice, explanatory statement 101, 102 has been completely done. So a quick question, if the shorter number of notice is to be sent, what is the requirement for that? If the notice needs to be sent for the lesser time period, was there any specific requirement for section 101? Tell me quickly, this is your test. The first question of the revision question is, what is the limit for sending the shorter notice for the meeting? Otherwise, what is the notice requirement for the notice of the meeting? How many days prior the notice shall be sent? It was 21 clearer days notice. But in case I want to send a shorter notice, what was the requirement? There was a separate requirement in case of AGM and in case of EGM. Very good, Khushi Mehra. 95% members you're writing. What members? 95% for what? For AGM, it is 95% of the members who are entitled to vote should have agreed. And in case of EGM, company having share capital, not having share capital. If it is company having share capital, 95% of the paid up share capital. If it is not having share capital, then 95% of the total voting power is the limit that was required to be seen under section 101. There was another limit that we did under section 100 for the EGM requisitionist. Today, we will be doing another limit when we will be doing demand to be raised for holding of vote. All right. So, ye yaad rakhniye ki 3 different jagah pe limits are. Quorum also we have done in detail 103, 104. We were doing 105. I promise you that we will be starting from 105. So, we will start. After that, children, section 106 to 110 totally relate with voting, how the voting has to be done by show of hands, demand for polls. All those voting will be done in detailed discussion we'll be doing in the class. Then we have section 111, 14 and 17, which specifically talks about the resolutions. What are the ordinary resolutions? What are special resolution? Cases under section 115 where special notice is required will also be discussed. After that, remember, we just started this topic of the notice that you were in a school and annual function is coming up. Notice has been put up in the notice board. Then we did all these statements, quorum, chairman, voting, everything was done. And at the end, we always make a summary of how did the program went, who all participated, who all contributed, how was the function, how many people came. So हम अपने स्कूल में एक समरी बनाते थे, मिनट्स बनाते थे किसी भी इवेंट के खत्म होने पे. Similarly, whenever any AGM, annual general meeting, extraordinary general meeting, board meetings, all these meetings end up, we make a summary. Section 118 is very, very important. We will be discussing in detail how the inspection of the minutes can be done under section 119. And then a very quick section 120 and 121 we'll be going through and completing the chapter today itself. Is that clear, all of you? Good morning, Soumya. Those who have just joined the class, welcome to the class. Shalini, yes, good answer. Nice. Okay. Ishan. Nice. All right. So let's begin where we left, section 105, ordinary special business quorum. If time permits, we'll go for the revision and questions. Otherwise, we will be winding up the chapter. So who is entitled to be appointed as a proxy? Any member of the company can appoint a proxy who can vote on their behalf. So I was telling you, proxy is a person who is going as a substitute. If you are not there, he will be filing, he will be attending the meeting, and he can also vote in the meeting. But proxy can also only vote in case of a demand for poll. What is the meaning of demand for poll? In today's section 108, 109, we'll be discussing what is the voting by poll. But under section 107, show of hands, their proxy cannot. He can only vote in case of a poll. So the central government will tell the class of companies who are not entitled to appoint another person as a proxy. So you can appoint, I told you in the previous class, any person can be appointed as a proxy. It's not necessary that he should be a member of the company, but central government will tell certain companies who cannot appoint proxy. Such person will not act as a proxy on the members exceeding 15 and having prescribed number of shares. So for how many members you can be appointed as a proxy? You cannot be appointed as a proxy for more than 50 members. But what was the limit for the paid up share capital? So it says a person can act as a proxy not exceeding 50, and the percentage of the share capital holding should not be more than 10%. So I was telling you in the previous class, if there is a person who is holding 25% of the total share capital of a company, and he appoints Mr. M as his proxy, can Mr. M be appointed as a proxy? It's okay, Priyanshi Tak, what are you writing? I hope you're understanding what I'm trying to tell you. If you have any doubt, you can let me know. I'll explain you in Hindi, okay? Don't worry, Priyanshi. Yes, M will not be appointed. He can only be appointed as a proxy for one person. He cannot be appointed for anybody else. Very good. Anubhav, Shailija, Mamidi Sethi, Khushi, Divyanshi, Ishan, good. All right. Yes, Soumya, Shailija, good. So here, you can be appointed for maximum of 50 members. Ke liye you can be appointed proxy. Or they should not, and they should not be holding more than 10% of the paid up share capital. This is the limit which has been set up for the members to be appointed as a proxy. But if one person is only holding more than 10%, say 20%, 21%, 11%, 15%, then he can be appointed as a proxy exclusively for that person. He cannot be appointed as a proxy for any other person. Otherwise, you can be proxy for 50 members, but not exceeding 10% of the paid up share capital. Appointment of proxy form is done in which form number? So today I am going to show you MGT 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. 5 forms I'll be showing you. All other MGT forms you've already seen. So today we'll be seeing these 5 MGT forms also. Very good. Khushi Mehra and Soumya, remember MGT 11 is the form which is used for proxy form. Every notice calling the meeting or the articles shall tell the reasonable statement that you can appoint a proxy. So every notice should give a right to the members that you can appoint a proxy. Proxy need not be a member. It is not necessary that the proxy should be a member. He can be a member. He cannot be a member. I can ask my sister to go and attend the meeting and vote on my behalf. That is also possible. So every notice, you have to tell the members about the proxy appointment through the notice. And then this proxy form has to be deposited during what time? 48 hours before the meeting, unless the articles provide for a longer time. So you have to tell the members that you have the right to appoint the proxy. If you don't tell, if you don't comply with these provisions, then a fine of rupees 5,000 will be charged. This is the default. If you don't inform the members that you have this right of appointing a proxy, then a fine of 5,000 is charged. Within how many time period the proxy form has to be deposited? 48 hours before the meeting. Can we call it 2 days or we have to call it 48 hours? Tell me. So MGT 11 has to be deposited 2 hours, 2 days before the meeting or 48 hours before the meeting. हम क्या लिखेंगे? So where the provisions are given for hours, we have to use 48 hours only. Excellent. We have to use 48 hours only. Okay, Priyanshita, don't worry, okay? If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Khushi Mehra, Soumya, Divyanshi, all of you, Mamidi Sethi, correct answer. All right. 48 hours before the meeting, proxy form has to be deposited. The instrument shall be in writing and signed by the authorized dealer. If the appointer is a body corporate, the instrument shall be which is signed by an officer or attorney authorized by the court of body corporate. Okay, so it is just telling you about the MGT 11 fund. If invitations to appoint a proxy or one of the more members, invitations are to be issued at the company's expenditure. So company's expenditure, you would be issuing these things where you are appointing a proxy. Okay, simple, nothing too much of complicated over here. So MGT 11 shall not be questioned if it fails to comply with any special requirements. So MGT 11 has been filed. You will not question who is the person, why he has been appointed. But yes, every member has a right who is entitled to vote at the meeting can go and inspect that who is the proxy. You cannot question them, but yes. So say, for example, Mr. A is a shareholder of the company. He is not going himself. He is sending Mr. M on his behalf for appointed as a proxy. 48 hours notice has been given to the company before the meeting that Mr. M will be coming on my behalf for the voting. Now, you, Mr. B and C, want to inspect who is coming on behalf of A. Then company says, yes, you have the power to inspect the proxy 24 hours before the time fixed for the meeting. Ending with the conclusion of the meeting, you can inspect any time during the business hours. So can you go and inspect at 12 midnight or 4 a.m. in the morning or 2 a.m. in the morning? Can you go and do that? No, Khushi Mehra, you cannot do 24/7. You can only go for the business hours. Yes, 24 hours is correct. 24 hours before the meeting means. So if the meeting was to be kept on 14th March at 11 a.m., so intimation should have been given. First of all, it has to be, okay, please read this line also. Not less than 3 days notice in writing has to be given that you want to come and inspect the proxy. So there are 3 provisions which have to be seen. Number 1, 3 days prior you have to tell that you want to inspect the proxy. Number 2, 24 hours before the meeting you can come and inspect till the time the meeting is ended. You have the eligibility and you have to do it only during business hours. So 14th March, 11 a.m. is the time of the meeting. So the intimation has to be given by when? 11th March. Intimation has to be given 3 days prior. And when can you go? 24 hours. That is 13th March, 11 a.m. till the meeting continues. Let's assume meeting continues till 6 p.m. So 13th March, 11 a.m. से लेकर 14th March, 6 p.m. तक आप proxy inspect कर सकते हो, but not during non-business hours, only during the business hours. So sometimes these very small lines which are written over here seems very simple, but they have a good amount of question that can come from this topic. So please mark all these provisions of 48 hours provision. We have done MGT 11. Then we have done 24 hours provision for inspection till the time of conclusion of meeting. Then 3 days prior to the meeting, the proxy form has to be deposited. All right. Now let's begin with, so proxy is done, finish, 106 to 109, how the voting is done. So before we start with a very interesting and lengthy topic, which is related to voting by shareholders, how they're going to vote, can you see the beautiful pictures which have been taken from your own study material module? First section is section 107, voting by show of hands. Can you see this beautiful picture in which people have raised their hands? That means I raise my hand for this person. Or if you remember when you were small kids and your football team or basketball team was to be formed and 2 people were made to be standing. This is A's team, this is B's team. So A will say, who wants to come in my team? 5, 6 students will raise their hand. You go to their team. Then who wants to come? So they will not be given a chance to raise their hands. Remaining will be in B's team. याद है ऐसा कुछ हमने बचपन में खेला हुआ है या देखा हुआ है? हैव यू सीन लाइक दिस, राइट? Divyanshi, we are doing voting. So section 106 to 109 after proxy, we have started for the voting. Okay. So keep noting down the sections which I keep telling you along with this. Okay. So people are raising their hands. So first type of voting will be voting by show of hands, where where you have to elect your class leader. I told you, everybody will raise the hand and they want that this child, my favorite friend, should be become the leader so that he can give me some liberty. Similarly, for all the resolutions in a company, somebody is raising their hand. Say, for example, the resolution needs to be passed saying that Mr. A should be appointed as the director of the company. Ordinary resolution, appointment of director. Am I correct? Appointment of a director is an ordinary resolution or a special resolution is required? It's ordinary business or a special business? No. This is not subheading. We are doing a proper topic. Divyanshi Saxena, we are doing the topic of voting. Very good. It's an ordinary business. So I am asking, a resolution needs to be passed. Mr. Reka, hoga kya situation mein? How they are going to handle it? So they will ask, Mr. A is going to be appointed as the director. How many of you say yes for this? So say, for example, 80 people are sitting and 70 people raise their hand. So majority of them has said yes. If it's an ordinary resolution, we need majority of yes. So then the resolution will be passed. This is the meaning of voting by show of hands. We will read it in detail also. Okay. Section 107. Then you said that, okay, I don't want to go in the meeting and vote. I want to use electronic means. Nowadays, AI has become so prevalent. We all are learning about artificial intelligence. Then why not use it for our business also? So law says section 108 gives you an option. You keep sitting at home and do your remote voting. That means electronic voting you can. We'll study the procedure of electronic voting under section 108. Voting by poll. Now, voting by poll, I try to relate it with the election day. So, how many of you are above 18 years of age and you have started voting? Do you vote in elections? You must have been voting. So, how do you vote in elections? You have voted. So many of yes has come. Yes, ma'am, I voted. Very good. So, have you seen the system where that box is kept, that ballot is kept? Where you write your vote, you tick it up, and you close the ballot paper and you put it in the box. Polling booth, yes, you go to the polling booth and you vote over there, and everything is kept so confidential, right? So you have been voting. You know what is a poll, how the voting happens. So today we'll be understanding how in Companies Act Section 109 has laid down the voting by demand for poll. So sometimes the company is happy with show of hands. If they are not happy with the result of show of hands, they may demand poll. Means secretly you want to vote. You don't want to announce for whom are you voting. You want to put your votes in the poll, and a scrutinizer will be appointed, an outside person who will be coming and taking care of this entire procedure of voting by demand for poll. So that is what we're going to understand in detail under section 109. 109 I will be doing in detail with you. 108 and 1110 are similar sections. So voting is very similar. We do one of the section, you get clarity about by reading the other two sections also. All right. So after that, by postal ballot. What is postal ballot? So again, here you are doing electronically, and here you are sending your votes through ballot papers will be posted to all the shareholders' house at their address, and they will file their vote and they will close it. They will send it by post. Counting will happen. The person, again, scrutinizer will be appointed. He will be coming and he will be reading out who has voted for whom, and the results will be announced. That is brief introduction about your topic of voting. Now let's start. Before starting section 107, there is another small section 106, which talks about restriction on voting rights. So it says nothing in Companies Act, the articles may provide no member will exercise voting right for the shares registered. So nothing restricts you, but articles may restrict that you cannot vote. For which shares you cannot vote? If the shares on which you have not paid the money, or where the company is exercising the right of lien. What is right of lien? Where the company ने जब्त कर ले, means company के कब्जे में आपने amount नहीं pay करा, आपके shares forfeit हो गए, या फिर company is exercising the right of lien on your shares. So only in two cases where the amount is on the unpaid calls, or if lien is exercised, only if the articles of association. So this brief summary is very much sufficient for section 106. बस इतना ही learn करना है आपने कि अगर articles kahega, so you can restrict the voting rights, number one, for the unpaid shares of the member, and number two, if any exercise of lien is happening. Except on the above grounds, you cannot prohibit the member. He has full right to. In case of a poll, member or his proxy is entitled to put more than one vote, and not to be used in the same way all the votes he wants. So if I have 10 votes, I can vote in favor for 5. I can use my 5 votes for against. So it is my choice how I want to use my votes. Whatever power has been given individually to each member. They will decide how they want to use their power of vote. So point number 1 to remember over here is the restriction can be imposed only by the articles. Otherwise, there is no restriction. Articles can restrict if the shares have not been paid or if the right to lien is being exercised. Number 2, you can use your voting in whatever way you want to use. There is no prohibition or restriction. Number 3, joint shareholders must concur in voting. Very, very interesting point. So who are the joint shareholders? Say, for example, A and B are jointly holding the share in a company. So my first question to my dear students is, if you remember, we have done quorum under section 103. So for the joint shareholders, they're counted as 1 or 2. How do you count them? You have been counting them for the members also. How do you count the joint shareholders? The joint shareholders will be counted as joint shareholders will be counted as 1. Very good. So if A and B have to vote on certain resolution, A says, no, I don't agree. And B says, yes, I do agree. Now what will happen? It will become very difficult because one vote has to be counted for both of them. So it says must concur in voting means they must agree mutually on whatever they want to do. They cannot have a debate among themselves only. So joint shareholders should concur in voting. If they don't concur, then voting will be done in the order of seniority. And what is the order of seniority? I have already explained you. Anand Ruti, Jayendra, good. Soumya, Sangeetmani, excellent. Saneet Kumar, Shalini, Soumya, Loda, Khushi Mehra, Anubhav, Naina, Shailaja, very good. Excellent answer, Ishan. Great. So who will be considered as the seniority? Whose name is there written first in the register of members? Very good, children. So you remember section 88 also very well. So whose name? Very good, Soumya. Soumya, oh, absolutely correct. Jayendra, Miss P, whose name stands first will be considered as the senior joint shareholder. So whatever he will be saying, his vote will be counted. Clear ho gaya section 106? So quickly we have done section 105, 106. Now let's move to section 107. Section 107 tells you how the voting has to be done by show of hands. At any general meeting, a resolution to be voted unless it is to be demanded under 109. What is 109? Tell me. Abhi bataya maine aapko brief. Or if the voting has to be done electronically, means it's 108. How will you do? So if the poll is to be demanded or e-voting has to be done, if these methods are not to be used, then you will be doing voting by show of hands. So first method is always the common method. Unless the poll is demanded or electronic method we are using, a resolution is generally passed by show of hands. Following shall be the conclusive evidence of passing the resolution. Once your chairman declares that it is done, then it is done. You cannot change that resolution. And number 2, very important point, once the entry has been made in the minutes book, it's the conclusive evidence that the resolution has been passed. Let's take the same example, example 1 that I have taken with you. Example number 1, where I told you Mr. A is to be appointed as the director of the company. Okay. I have asked you that Mr. A shall be appointed by the director of the company. Now the voting was to be done by show of hands. Everybody raised their hands and this decision was final that yes, A is to be appointed as the director. Now law says, how will you conclude that this is the final decision? You will conclude that this is the final decision once the chairman declares that yes, Mr. A will be appointed as the director. So declaration has to be given by the chairman. Number 2, entry has been made in the minute book that yes, A has to be appointed as director. ये 2 स्टेप होंगे तब मान लिया जाएगा कि अब कंक्लूसिव एविडेंस हो गया है कि रेजोल्यूशन पास हो गई. In English, once these 2 steps are done, declaration is given by the chairman and the minute book's entry is made, it will be concluded. Now, this is the valid proof that the resolution has been passed that Mr. A has to be appointed as the director of the company. Is that clear? Can an insolvent member also vote by show of hands? Yes, ma'am. As long as his name will be appearing in the register of members, the insolvent member can also vote. So number 1 point, voting can be done by show of hands unless poll is demanded. Number 2 point, chairman will declare the final results. That will be final and entry has to be made in the minutes. Number 3, can an insolvent person vote? Yes, ma'am. If his name is appearing in the register of members, as long as his name is appearing, he can also vote. Clear ho gaya? Voting by show of hands. Can we move to section 109? Am I connected? Somehow I feel as if, am I audible, students? Okay. All right. This is what I was trying to open the book. Section 105 we have done. Please give it a fair reading. I just want to see if there is any question, illustration. Nothing is given. Voting by show of hands, 107. So this is 106 that we have just done, children. I hope you have marked it in your books. Keep your cameras off and everybody is to stay on mute. Ms. Nidhi, keep your camera off. In other words, the poll being taken, so all these points have been discussed. Joint shareholders may, you have to take the consensus. Okay, illustration A. Suppose Mr. Subramaniam and Mrs. Neha are joint shareholders of Sports Equipment Private Limited and they are holding 500 equity. For the special business being transacted at EGM, Subramaniam is in favor of passing the resolution. Sneha does not favor. Without looking into the answer, decide how the vote should be casted in such a situation. You will not read the answer and you will tell me that how the vote has to be casted. How the vote shall be casted. I want 2 simple lines on this answer. The first point will be Subramaniam and Mrs. Neha, their vote shall be counted as 1. Therefore, they shall concur in meeting while voting. Second will be, if they do not concur, they are not having a consensus, then seniority will be followed. Seniority means the person whose name is written in the register of members first shall be considered as the person who is a senior person and that vote will be considered final. Is that clear? Everyone? All right. Consider a situation where directors are also shareholders of the company. So it says directors are also shareholders. They stand in a fiduciary relationship. Fiduciary relationship means relationship of trust and confidence. So director will vote in the same manner as a common shareholder will vote. Therefore, while casting a vote, he is not supposed to be influenced by a fact that he is one of the directors of the company. अब ये छोटा सा उसने illustration 9 लिखकर आपको एक question दे दिया. No, not a single thing from the study material, children, you're going to skip. Everything which is written over here is very, very important. Question can come in any form. So examiner can ask you, there was a director, Mr. A. He was saying that I'm also the shareholder of the company. Does he need to vote in a different way? So you will say, no, ma'am, he will be treated as a common shareholder. Nothing is to be influenced that he's one of the directors, so his casting a vote will be different. No. So he will not supposed to be a different human being. He's supposed to be a normal shareholder. Show of hands also we have done. Can an insolvent shareholder vote at the general meeting by show of hands? Yes or no? If you say yes, why do you say yes? Everyone says yes, ma'am. Why? As long as his name is appearing in the register of members. Yes, although he is not having any beneficial interest, dividend is not to be able, but as long as his name is there in the register of members, he can exercise his votes. Clear ho gaya? Now, this all voting by electronic modes, we are going to read from the presentation, and then again, we are going to come back for the questions. So now, who can demand for poll? I told you in this chapter, section 100 had the limits. One limits we had in section number 100. One limits we had in section 101. And in 109, again, we are going to have a certain set of limit where the poll will be demanded by number of members. A poll may be ordered to be taken by the chairman on his own motion or on a demand made for this poll. So it says before declaring the result of voting on any resolution by show of hands. So now what is happening? We are in the meeting room. People are raising their hands. Show of hands से result declare होने ही वाला है. Before या on declaration. एक बार declare हो गया and minutes में पढ़ गया. फिर तो हमने पढ़ लिया ना section 107 में, that is final. But if before the result has been declared and the members say that no, we don't want this, we want poll. Or the chairman decides, no, I'm not happy with the result, I want the poll meeting. In either of the conditions, section 109 will become applicable and hence poll can be demanded. Number 1 point clear ho gaya sabko? This mouse is working. Number 2 point. In case the company is having share capital, then members present in person who were allowed not less than 1/10 of the total voting power or a sum of 5 lakh rupees or higher share capital if they're holding, they can request for poll. In case of any other company, the members along with the proxy present in person or by proxy having not less than 1/10 of the voting power can request for poll. So what are the two conditions? 1/10 of the voting power plus a sum of 5 lakh of paid up share capital is the limit for company having share capital. Company not having share capital, it is the limit of 1/10 of the total voting power. They can only demand for the poll. Vernacular newspaper निधि उसका मतलब होता है जो आपकी local city में newspaper आता है. Okay, I will explain you when we read that. Yes, Miss P, he can also vote. Demand for a poll may be withdrawn at any time by the person who made this. So if you want to withdraw your demand for poll, you can withdraw it also. But at least 1/10 of the members who are holding the voting power. Please, children, here 1/10 of the voting power is the condition. Why? Because you're talking about the voting power to be used. Or if he is holding not less than 5 lakh of the share capital. So either 1/10 of the voting power or 5 lakh of the share capital, whichever is higher, is the limit. has to be seen. If the company is not having share capital, 1/10 of the voting power has to be seen. Only these people can demand for the poll. Poll demanded for adjournment of the meeting or for the appointment of chairman. In section 104, I told you that there can be a poll demanded for the appointment of chairman also, or there can be a poll demanded for the adjournment of the meeting. Shall be taken forthwith means immediately the poll has to be done. If the poll is for adjourning the meeting, you don't want the meeting right now, you want to adjourn it, immediately the poll has to be conducted. Or if you want another person to be appointed as the chairman, then also the poll has to be done immediately. Any other demand for poll other than adjournment of the meeting or appointment shall be done not later than 48 hours from the demand was made as the chairman may direct. It says for any other cases, you can give them a time of 48 hours of the time can be given for the demand for the poll meeting. So if you have demanded poll for the adjournment of the meeting, immediately, appointment of chairman, immediately. Other than these two things, 48 hours time period can be given from the time when the demand was made. Where a poll is to be taken, chairman shall appoint such person to scrutinize the poll process and the votes given on the poll and to report in the manner prescribed. Now, what will happen now? In the rules, we will be reading entire procedure, how the scrutinizer is going to come. We will ask you that company's documents should be given to me. And now I am going to see who is giving the votes in favor of whom, who is giving the votes against the resolutions. He is the final person who is going to take the call. Because you have not trusted each other by a show of hands, you're not having faith. You want a poll to be demanded, secrecy of the votes to be maintained. So if it is adjournment or appointment of chairman, immediately you will do. In other cases, 48 hours time period will be given for the demand. What is the meaning of adjournment? Okay, Mr. Dhanush is asking, ma'am, what is the meaning of adjournment? Very nice question, children. We did this in the previous class. Tell me फटाफट से class बताएगी मुझे क्या होता है adjournment of the meeting. निधि, वी आर डिस्कसिंग पोल मीटिंग. जैसे आप इलेक्शंस में पोल में करते हो ना, मीटिंग होती है, वो हम उसके बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. पोल कैसे डिमांड हो सकता है, अभी हमने ये पढ़ा है कि शेयर कैपिटल है कंपनी की तो 1/10 ऑफ द टोटल वोटिंग पावर और 5 लाख रुपीज शेयर्स पे होल्डिंग. इफ द कंपनी इज नॉट हैविंग शेयर कैपिटल, देन एटलीस्ट 1/10 ऑफ द वोटिंग पावर कैन डिमांड फॉर पोल मीटिंग. ओके, वेरी गुड. अगेन सबने लिख दिया पोस्टपोन करना. सो मीटिंग एडजर्न होना मीन्स पोस्टपोनिंग द मीटिंग. वेरी गुड. बट इट मीन्स दैट द मीटिंग विल बी, if the quorum is not present, then the meeting goes in the same day for the next week at the same time. Okay, Dhanush? Do you remember now? Adjournment means postponing the meeting. अनुभव says 48 hour वाला समझ नहीं आया. अनुभव मालिक क्या नहीं समझ आया बेटा 48 hours में? Okay, Dhanush, I'm glad you got the point. Anubhav, it says that otherwise, if we are all the members, we said we want the poll meeting for the adjournment of the meeting. Immediately poll will be taken up. Please who want adjournment of the meeting, poll immediately. But if for any other case, the poll has been demanded, then 48 hours time period will be given for taking up this matter as a poll meeting. Okay? Nidhi, we will be discussing about scrutinizer. Abhi maine karaya hi nahi hai, so wait. Okay? So where the poll is to be taken, so where the poll has been taken up, the chairman will appoint a second, an outsider, a scrutinizer person who will be coming and voting, who will be checking the entire poll procedure. Okay. Chairman will regulate the manner in which the polling has to be done, and the result of the poll shall deem to be the decision of the meeting on the resolution on which poll was taken. So see, for example, there are different resolutions and we want to take the decision. Resolutions are the discussions which we are going to have in the meeting. So now how these resolutions are to be finalized, we have decided that we will have a poll meeting. Earlier we were doing by show of hands. Now we are doing by poll meeting. So how this poll meeting will happen? scrutinizer will be coming up and he will help you and explain you the poll process, which we are going to discuss in the rules coming ahead. So Rule 21 lays down the manner in which the chairman will get the poll process scrutinized, how the scrutinization will happen. Okay. So, Divyanshi, now you will understand the detailed procedure. Okay. The chairman will see that the scrutinizers is provided. Number one, you will provide the scrutinizer with all the members' register, specimen, signature, and register of proxies. Scrutinizers will also be given for the documents of section 111 and 113. Have we done 112 and 13? Where I told you that there is a president of the company or president is a member of the company. Okay, I will explain you these points 112 and 113 also. Okay. Scrutinizers will arrange for the polling papers in MGT 12. So number one, a scrutinizer, chairman will appoint a scrutinizer. He will be given all the attendance register of members who all are going to act, who all are the members of the company. Also the details about members who are 112 and 113 members. This I will explain you who are these members under 112 and 113. Okay. Scrutinizer will arrange for the polling papers. Then all the members who are there, they will be distributed MGT 12. So remind me after the break, MGT 11 and MGT 12, we will be seeing how these forms look like. So we will be distributing to all the members MGT 12 and also to the proxies. Can the proxy vote for the demand for poll? I told you under section 105 right now that only the proxies has the right to vote when there is a demand for poll. Otherwise, proxies don't vote. But if the proxy is present in the meeting, he can only vote in case of demand is raised by poll. In case of a joint shareholder, the polling paper will be given to the first person name holder in his absence to the joint. ठीक है ना? So फिर जिसका भी नाम पहले लिखा हुआ है उसको पोलिंग पेपर दे दिया जाएगा because एक ही वोट हमने काउंट करना. Scrutinizer will keep a record of the polling paper received in response to this poll. So what will happen? A person has come. Suppose I am the scrutinizer. We all are running a company and all the 37 participants present over here. You all are the shareholders of the company. I have distributed MGT 12 to all of you. Please read this MGT 12 and please votes in favor, votes in against, and you fold it and you keep it in the box which is kept over here under a lock and key. An empty polling box is lying. Everyone is going to put their votes and they will wrap it up, close it, and they will put this in the empty polling box in the presence of the members and proxies. Everybody will do it, but it is under lock and seal, which I am taking care. I am a scrutinizer. Now I am going to open these boxes in the presence of two persons who are acting as a witnesses. In case of any ambiguity about the validity of a proxy, the scrutinizer will decide in consultation with chairman. So I find that the proxy vote is not correct, so I will have to take a decision along with the chairman. If a member who was appointed as a proxy has voted in person, then his vote shall be disregarded. So if you have already voted as a person also, again, you're sending your vote in demand for poll, then this will be disregarded. Only once you can vote. Is that clear? So what is the procedure? Scrutinizer will come. He will be given all the register of members. He will see who all are the members. He will distribute MGT 12 to everyone. They will fill up their votes. They will roll the sheet. They will drop it in the lock and seal empty polling box. Then in front of two persons as a witness, scrutinizer will open this box and he will check if every vote has been done properly. In case of any ambiguity, he will discuss it with the chairman. Scrutinizers will then count the votes casted on the poll and prepare a report in MGT 13. So now how he is going to prepare his report? He will be preparing his report on MGT 13 within 7 days from the date when the vote is taken. When the vote is conducted by electronic means, under the provisions of the Companies Act and rules, company will provide all these technical support. Scrutinizers will be conducting the voting and counting the result. वो कह रहे जब इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मीन्स भी अभी पढ़ोगे तब भी सेम प्रोसीजर हमने कैरी करना है. स्क्रूटनाइजर सारी वोट्स को काउंट करेगा, चेक करेगा एंड अपनी रिपोर्ट बनाएगा. ही विल स्टेट हाउ मेनी वोट्स हैव बीन कास्टेड, व्हाट वर द वैलिड वोट्स, हाउ मेनी ऑन द फेवर ऑफ द रेजोल्यूशन, हाउ मेनी इनवैलिड पोलिंग पेपर्स हैव बीन यूज्ड. He will declare the result and he may himself announce it or any other person in writing will announce the result. So basically, children, in show of hands 107, you are raising your hands and you are declaring the result. In demand for poll, poll has been demanded. First, who will demand the poll? If it is adjournment of the meeting, appointment of the chairman, poll has to be done immediately. In any other case, how much time period can be given for demand for poll? 48 hours time period. How the poll has to be done? Scrutinizer will be coming up. He will be given that empty box with lock and seal. He will distribute MGT 12 to everyone. They will fill in their votes. They will put it and drop it in the box. In front of two witnesses, he will open the box and he will read out the result. In what form scrutinizer will prepare his result? MGT 30. So 3 forms we have done today. MGT 11, which is a proxy form. MGT 12, which is a polling paper form, which will be given to all the shareholders to put their votes. MGT 13, within 7 days of this polling that has happened, MGT 12 has to be prepared by the scrutinizer and he will declare his result. Is that clear? Should I show you the forms now? You want to see the forms? Sangeetmani, for that you have to read section 104. We have already discussed the provision of chairman of the company. Okay. So this is how your MGT form looks like. That is proxy form. So you can see form number MGT 11 proxy form as per section 1056 of the Companies Act, Management and Administration Rules. So this is what you're studying. So SIN number, name of the company, everything will be written. I or we being the member of so-and-so company holding these many shares, appoint Mr. X as the proxy, his email address, signatures will be given. Or if he does not come or failing him, then Mr. B will be coming. They are appointed as my proxy and they have the right to attend and vote on a poll. Why it is written on a poll? Because proxy can only vote on a poll. For me and us or on my and behalf at EGM, AGM to be held on this date, at this time, at this place, and at any adjournment thereof. Adjournment भी अगर होगी तब भी proxy को right दिया है vote करने. Is that clear? So this is the proxy form and then resolutions are written, children. See resolution 1, 2, 3, how many resolutions you're going to pass. This proxy form shall be effective and completed at the RO office, not less than 48 hours. में वही ठीक लिखे 48 hours होना चाहिए था, 24 hours होना चाहिए था. कुछ गलत तो नहीं है बेटा यहाँ पे. Is it correct? 48 hours is correct or there should be 24 hours? Yes, ma'am, this is correct. Everybody has said, yes, ma'am, this is correct. So what was 24 hours? I just now told you something related to 24 hours. What was that? Inspection of proxy. Very good, very good. Miss B, excellent. Very nice. Everybody is correct. Is that clear, everyone? Now, MGT 11 is clear, proxy form is clear. Now we are going to see MGT 12. What is MGT 12 form used for? What is the relevance of MGT 12 form? MGT 12 is the polling paper, which we are just discussing. Very good. Okay, as per section 109, companies management rules, ballot paper, name of the first shareholder, what is your name, who are you, who is depositing, your postal address, registered folio number or client number, class of shares, how many class of shares you're holding. I exercise my vote in respect of ordinary or special resolution by recording my assent or dissent. Number of shares held with me, I assent to the resolution, I dissent to the resolution. So आप हाँ करोगे, yes करोगे या no करोगे, whatever is your thing, whatever decision you want to take. सो दिस इज अ सीक्रेसी बैलेट पेपर्स के, जैसे आपने इलेक्शन वाला दिन याद रखना और कुछ नहीं करना. इलेक्शंस में वोट कर रहे हैं ना सबने, अभी यस मैम बोला, बस वही डिमांड फॉर पोल है. कंपनीज में कर रहे हैं हम पोलिंग पेपर देखकर. अब इजी लग रहा है सबको एमजीटी 11-12 देखने के बाद, फॉर्म्स देखने के बाद. चलो रिपोर्ट बनाएंगे कौन सी फॉर्म में, कौन सी फॉर्म में रिपोर्ट बनेगी? हु विल मेक द रिपोर्ट? शेयर होल्डर, डायरेक्टर, चेयरमैन, कौन बनाएगा रिपोर्ट डिमांड फॉर पोल में? स्क्रूटनाइजर विल प्रिपेयर द रिपोर्ट in form MGT 13. Very good. So he will address his report. This is report of scrutinizer. निधि चेयरमैन नहीं बनाता, स्क्रूटनाइजर बना रहा है ना, वो कर रहा है सारा काम. चेयरमैन को तो करके देगा. 2 चेयरमैन, AGM, EGM कौन सी थी, कौन सी कंपनी held on this. We so and so appointed as scrutinizer for the poll taken on the above resolution, meetings held, submit our report. After the time fixed for closing of the poll by chairman, dash ballot boxes were kept, were locked, and in my presence they were opened. Identification marks लग जाते हैं, पूरा प्रोसीजर है. हमने इतना डिटेल में नहीं पढ़ना, हमें पता होना चाहिए. We should have knowledge about this because it is written in our topic. The locked ballot boxes are subsequently opened in my presence. Then he is telling you that the witnesses came and it was opened in front of them. Poll papers which were incomplete or were defective have been treated invalid. So जो invalid votes हैं हम उसको count नहीं करते. The result of the poll is resolution. In favor of the resolution, so many members have voted. In against the resolution, so many members have voted. Can you see how beautifully they have written? Voted in favor of the resolution, number of members, number of votes casted, percentage of the votes casted. पढ़ा ना अभी हमने. Can you relate it, children? Nidhi, you are not attending the lecture carefully, beta. You are again and again asking who is the scrutinizer, who is the chairman. Please listen to the recorded lecture if you have missed out anything, okay? Very good, Sangeetwani, Rajbir Ray, all of you correct. So you have just read it in section 109. When he prepares the report, he shows the number of members present, number of votes casted by them in favor as well as against, and percentage of the total votes casted. Invalid votes will not be considered, but again, he has to show that these are the number of votes casted invalid votes. And then resolutions passed, all these detailed decision will be given. A compact list, that is CD, containing the list of equity shareholders who voted for and against and those who have declared invalid will also be included. पूरा उनका detail देगा. Polling papers and other relevant records were sealed and handed over to the company secretary or director for safekeeping. Name and signature of the scrutinizer. Who is preparing MGT 13? Scrutinizers. Who is giving MGT 12? Scrutinizer is giving the polling paper MGT 12. Who is filling MGT 11? A member who wants to appoint a proxy. समझ आ रहा है सबको? Is it clear? Is it easy? Are you finding it easy now? Tell me, hurry up. Or you're finding the voting tough? Is it easy? Very good. All of you. Nice. Now the only part is, yes, Ishan, वो करेंगे मीटिंग इनवैलिड कैसे होगी वोट्स, वो भी करेंगे रेजोल्यूशंस में करो, ठीक है? Yes, Harshida, we will be discussing invalid votes. Don't worry. Okay? Oh, good. Now, voting by electronic means is exactly the same. थोड़ा सा पढ़ लेते हैं. Central government will tell which are the companies which will exercise the right to vote by electronic means. उसमें rule 21 था. Polling में इसमें rule 20 है, which tells you about the electronic means of voting. Following companies will provide the electronic means voting option. Number 1, if you are unlisted companies, and the company which has not less than 1,000 members, means you have to have more than or equal to 1,000 members, then only you can provide e-voting. Less than 1,000 में e-voting option दे सकते हैं, yes or no? Everybody less than 1,000 members हैं, तो क्या हम e-voting की option can we give them, yes or no? Good. So it is only for the listed companies and more than 1,000 members, then you can give. Will provide the facility for the right to vote. Exempted entity. Which are the exempted entities? A Nidhi company or the institutional investors is not provided the facility to vote by electronic votes. Institutional investors, as per SEBI, and Nidhi companies are two companies which are exempted, means they cannot provide the facility to vote by electronic. Okay, so number one, these are the companies who are entitled to vote through electronic means, and number two, Nidhi companies and institutional investors cannot request their members to vote by the electronic means. So how electronic voting meeting happens? A notice has to be sent to all the members along with the notice the members auditors by registered post or speed post. हमने पढ़ा था ना notice में section 101 में, उसी तरह से आपने notice भेजना है that yes, we are now going to have the votes by remote team. Also, the notice will be placed on the website because it is not possible. It might be possible that some of the members have not got the notice, so you will place it on the website also. Particulars of the notice will state that the company is giving you the facility of providing the voting by electronic means. कुछ नहीं करना है, आप notice आ गए भी घर में ही आप electronic means पे, जिसे आप Google form भरते हो. Have you filled Google forms? Online हो जाता है ना सब कुछ, फॉर्म भरा, सबमिट करा, हो गया. इसी तरह से इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मीन्स कंपनी क्या प्रोसीजर यूज कर रही है, यू डोंट हैव टू गो इनटू दैट. You simply have to understand some electronic means are being used. They will be sending you the details on emails and you have to click a button, vote in favor or vote in against. Where this facility is provided or ballot papers are made available, members shall cast their vote by remote e-voting, shall be able to exercise their rights at the meeting also. So it is your choice. You want to vote before coming to the meeting or you can decide you want to come at the meeting, and all these details will be given, the time schedule for the meeting, how the electronic means voting has to be done, the details, everything will be given, how the generating and receiving of passwords has to be given. The notice will indicate everything. And the notice has to be sent by way of public notice also if the number of members are very huge, because more than 1,000 number of members है ना, तो अगर बहुत ज़्यादा members है, suppose 10,000 है, बहुत ज़्यादा है, so notice has to be given in the advertisement also. Immediately on completion of dispatch of notice, but at least 21 days before the date of the meeting, this notice has to be given in the vernacular newspaper. Vernacular means the newspaper where the principal or the registered office of the company is situated, to have a wide circulation. So if I am in Mumbai, so I will give it in the newspapers which is circulated in Maharashtra, in that state, so that wide circulation can be done. Everybody who is staying over there, large number of members, can get my notice. Okay. And also in the English language, English newspaper, so that if we can have a wider choice, the notice has to be circulated. So you will place the notice on the website also and you will give it in the newspaper also. What will the advertisement state? The business that is to be transacted through e-voting, what is the date of time, cut-off date. Cut-off date is important, at least not later than 7 days before the meeting, you have to cast your vote. So simple procedure है, बहुत ज़्यादा detail में, you don't need to read all these rules. Simple, just give it a reading, okay, like a short story. Imagine yourself going as a shareholder in the company's general meeting, you're going to cast a vote. उस तरह से just as a small story you can do. Now this is interesting. E-voting will not be allowed beyond the said date and time. If you have already voted, then you will not be allowed to vote again. Suppose I am a shareholder, Harleen ma'am, I have already voted on e-remote voting. Now, 7 days before the meeting, I've already voted. Now the date of meeting has come. I went physically also, I'm present at the meeting. Can I cast my vote again? Law says once you have casted your vote on e-remoting, no need to cast it. Whose name is appearing in the register of members as on the cut-off date, every those member can vote for the e-vote. Okay. Now this is interesting. Time for e-voting. The facility for remoting e-voting shall not be open for more than 3 days and shall close at 5 p.m. on the date preceding the meeting. So if your meeting is on 1st October 2023, so by 30th September, 5 p.m., your e-voting will get closed. And how many days will be given? 3 days prior to the meeting. So 28, 29, 30th September will be given for e-voting. But till 30th September, 5 p.m., it shall get closed. All the members who are there on the cutoff date will be entitled to vote. During such period, the members holding the shares in demat form or physical form on demat will on the cutoff date can opt for voting. Once you have voted, you will not be required to change it subsequently. एक बार आपने e-voting में remote कर दिया, you cannot change. When to block the facility will be blocked means if the company has the same electronic system as used during the general voting, those resolutions will not be considered. छोड़ दो इसको, scrutinizer पे आ जाओ. फिर से board of directors will be appointing one or more scrutinizers. He may be a chartered accountant or cost accountant or company secretary or advocate or any other person who is not in the employment. Very, very important. You all were asking who is a scrutinizer. So read it carefully. A CA, CS in practice can be appointed as a scrutinizer who will in the opinion of board can scrutinize and do a fair and transparent manner process to check out the votes. So he will come and check whether e-voting has been done properly. He can also take assistance of a person, but that person should not be in the employment of the company and should be having good knowledge about the electronic voting system. अब e-voting कर रहे हो ना, अब IT expert भी कोई help कर सकता है आपका because technology involved है. So a CA in practice or CS or cost accountant might not be having good knowledge. So he can take any other person's help also. But you have to make sure that person is not in the employment of the company and should be having good knowledge about the electronic voting system. Witness is very important. Scrutinizers shall be appointed, will be willing to be appointed and will be available for finding out the majority. What is the role of the chairman? The chairman will see that all the ballot papers have been given or electronic means have been given to all the members who are present but have not cast their votes by availing the facility. Means once you have casted your vote by availing these facilities, then you don't need to vote it again. Chairman will make sure that all the members on the cutoff date in the NAM in the members of record of depository RM, they will be entitled to come and vote over. So we have done 106, 105, 106, 107, 109 and 108 also we have just completed. Let's take a small break, go through these topics very slowly from the study material, read from page to page, and then we will proceed ahead with the further topics. Let's take a small break here, okay? Yes, students, welcome back. Okay, Ishan and Divyanshi, we'll take your doubts. Let me open the module once because we always try to go through from the topics. After the PPT, we always jump to the module also. All right. So here we are on section 108, voting through electronic means. I hope you all have read the topic from study material also. We have just completed the facility of e-voting, how it has to be done. These are the companies which are eligible for e-voting, more than 1,000 of members, and you should be a listed equity shares. A Nidhi company or institutional investors, can they do e-voting, remote voting? Yes or no? Tell me. Can a Nidhi company or institutional investors referred under SEBI, are they entitled to vote by e-voting? Yes or no? If a member had voted at the same vote, ma'am, do block facility means that vote. Yes, 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 Ishan, you will not be allowed to. Means it's closed now. Elaborate section 106 again. Divyanshi Saxena, what haven't you understood in section 106? Once we are done with the voting child, remind me, we will go back to 106 and discuss, okay? So cutoff date, what was the cutoff date? If the meeting is on 18th of March, what will be the cutoff date? So 11th of March, 7 days before the date of the meeting fixed will be considered as cutoff date. All the persons who are members on 11th will be entitled to. No, it's same as P. By electronic means and e-voting is same. Demand for poll is different, e-voting is different, but the procedure is somewhat similar. Electronic voting means it's a process of displaying electronic ballots, recording the votes by the members, number of votes polled in favor and against. Entire exercise is done by electronic means. I gave you a very small example, children. Have you ever filled in Google Forms? Microsoft Google Forms aate hain aajkal, they're very common in your school or college activity. Have you ever filled Google Forms? Yes, ma'am, or no, ma'am? Hurry up, reply me. Yes, Ishan, if once you have voted in remote e-voting, then you're not required to vote at the general meeting again. Okay, almost every student has written, yes, ma'am, we have filled those forms. So the way you're doing it in a Google form, submit kara, click ho gaya. On a click of button, these forms are to be filled. This will be a procedure which is being followed for electronic voting under section 109. Company will decide how the ballot papers electronically have to be sent. Okay. So electronic voting system means the entire procedure we are following for the electronic means. Remote e-voting means casting vote by using the electronic system. So we can take an example that electronic means we have got these electronic ballot papers. You're sitting at your home. I have emailed it to you. Now what do you have to do? You have to do electronic voting system or you have to do remote e-voting? Tell me. If you are the shareholders of the company, I have sent you the electronic ballot papers. All my dear students will be doing now remote e-voting. Means you will be sitting at your place other than the venue of general meeting and any other, wherever you are, you will have to do e-voting. Ishan, have you got it? You had a doubt in this. Rajveer Ray, good. Harshita, Soumya, everybody has given the correct answer. So wonderful. Clear now, children? Yes, sometimes on the SMS that we are doing kind of things. Yes, Rajveer, absolutely. Secured system, again, it's just a general meaning which have been given to these kind of technical words. How this vote will be exercised, we will be casting the vote through electronic means, maybe through our emails or another means that you have said, a click of button, I just told you. The requirements will be very beautifully study material has given you all the rules. Rule 20, सिर्फ read करना है, इसको बहुत ज़्यादा इस पे time नहीं लगाना. Soumya, you were saying that we are doing it fast because we have to complete the syllabus today and this e-voting and everything is just a part of it. Sometimes teachers just tell you that you have to read it. I'm still reading each and every line with you so that you don't face any difficulty while you're reading it by yourself. क्लियर हो गया? नोटिस कैसे करना है, वेबसाइट पे भी देना है, न्यूज़पेपर में भी देना है, हम ये सारी बातें कर चुके हैं. These are the details of the notice. Publication has to be done. 21 days, vernacular newspaper, English newspaper, all these details we have discussed from my presentation also. This was important. Time for e-voting 3 days pehle, 5 o'clock band ho jayega, and 7 days cut-off date you have to remember. Is that clear? Appointment of scrutinizers, willingness, role of chairman, all these same points I have taken up over there. Also, counting of votes will be done. You will be counting the votes. Yes, Ishan, they will be allowed to vote in the general meeting. Let's take an example. Suppose there are 5 resolutions to be passed. You are Mr. A shareholder. You have received the electronical ballot papers that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 resolution. Please tell we want to pass in favor or against. So Mr. B has passed the e-voting for 3 resolutions. So how many resolutions still left? 2. He said, now when I will go to the general meeting, I will pass the resolutions, decisions for these 2 resolutions. I will pass it in the general meeting. Can he do that? Answer is yes. But for these 3, when you have already done e-voting, then you cannot now pass the answer for that. The resolution means Mr. A is to be appointed as the director, Mr. B is to be appointed as the auditor, any kind of resolution decision. So if you have taken a decision for 3-1, you cannot repeat it. Balance 2, you want to file at general meeting, you can do that. You have taken the decisions for all these 5 resolutions, you have passed e-voting. Now you can simply go and attend the general meeting. You don't need to pass any resolution. And how the scrutinizer will access the details and how he will be counting the votes. First, he will count the votes casted at the general meeting. Then he will take into account the e-voting, remote voting, and results will be unveiled. If he is not happy with any report, he is not invalid reports, then he will have to discuss it with the chairman. Clear hai, children? Demand for poll 109, we have discussed it in detail. Everything is given over here. Let me see if any questions are there so that we can discuss. No questions are given. Again, a small information that these sections are not applicable to private companies. So Miss P, that is the e-voting facility which is ending, but you still have the eligibility to come and vote in the general meeting. Okay? What we can do. 7 days points. Okay, how many times here you're giving them 7 days time period for taking the report? What is the time period for e-voting? What is the time period? Have you read about the time period over here? It's 3 days. Let me show it to you. If you have read it. Here the time period, please mark it, children. I think I've already shown it to you from my presentation. Why 3 days? Very good. Chronological order, Nidhi, means तो आपका sequence में होता है ABCD के order में जो. Very good, Sangeet Bani, Harshida. You have read it correct. 3 days. Can you please let us know so that the class can also know? 3 days is written on which page? Child, see, for the blocking facility, it says the facility will be blocked at the end of e-voting, means now you cannot use that e-voting system. You can still come and vote in the general meeting, but if you have voted through e-voting, then you will not be eligible to vote. Okay? If a company opts to provide electronic voting used for e-voting during the general meeting, it will be in operation till all the resolutions are considered and voted and may be used for voting only by the members attending the meeting and those who have not exercised their right through e-voting. Means if you're not exercised, then you can come and vote at the general. Clear it? Page 7.52, it's written, children, 3 days. For e-voting, we have 3 days. Okay, I showed you in my presentation also, but I wanted to show you here also. I haven't yet highlighted. Now, here it is. It's 7.53, beta. Time for e-voting. It will remain open not less than 3 days. This is the time period that they have given. I'm talking about the scrutinizer's report. It is also you have to prepare the report for within 3 days. Like there are 7 days over there. Here you have 3 days. It's here. 7.55, children. He shall make his report within 3 days. यहाँ पे लिख लो. E-voting में he will prepare the report in 3 days. Format, you were wrong. It was not 7.52, it was 7.55. Kushi Mera, you also. Okay. And in case of demand for poll, it is 7 days you have to prepare your report. ये important points है, इसको mark करना. All right, now you want to see the postal ballot. Let us quickly see the postal ballot again by I am sending you through computers, the electronic voting system. Postal ballot means I'm sending you the ballot papers by post. So the ballot papers will come to your address and you will have to file a vote. The procedure for filing the vote is similar to the procedure that we have done above. First of all, Section 110 extract says that only the items of business which the central government will declare will only be transacted through postal ballot. So it's not all the business to be transacted through postal ballots. It is only the business which CG will declare. In respect of directors or the auditors, there are specific cases which have to be discussed in case of postal ballot. Quickly tell me in the chat box, what do you understand by postal ballot? I just explained you. Demand for poll, you all have understood. If on or before declaration of show of hands, you can demand for poll. 48 hours वाला भी समझ आ गया. Adjournment है, chairman का appointment है, immediately करना है, वो भी पता लग गया. Demand for poll कौन करेगा, वो भी पता लग. Procedure भी हमने सारा देख लिया. Scrutinizer will be appointed. Then we have discussed e-voting. Now I'm asking, what is the meaning of postal ballot voting? What is the meaning of postal ballot? How the postal ballot voting will be done? Tell me. How the postal ballot will be done? The ballot papers will be sent to you by post. Then you will be voting on them and sending the papers back. Again, a scrutinizer will be coming. He will be reading. He will be checking your answers and declaring the result. I think let's do it from my notes that you find a little easy. So counting opposites, we all have discussed about these points. Postal ballots. The number one point is central government will describe for the business to be transacted by postal ballot. For the any items other than ordinary business on which the directors or auditors have the right can be transacted by the postal ballot. The first point is just simply telling you कहाँ पे postal ballot applicable होगा. It means voting by post or through any other electronic mode. Electronic mode है तो हम सीधा section 108 में चलेंगे. Okay. Instead of transacting the business at general meeting, we have decided to do it by postal mails. If a resolution is assented means accepted by majority of the shareholders by postal ballot, it will be considered as if resolution is passed at the general meeting. Now, what does this mean? So there are 100 members. If majority of the members means 50 members have already voted in favor of the resolution by postal ballot, it will be considered as if the resolutions have been passed at the general. उसे final resolution मान लिया जाए. Rule 22 has given certain rules. Where the company wants to pass the resolution by postal ballot, along with the draft resolution, they will have to send them the reasons why they want their acceptance or dissent in writing the postal ballots. Like I've just shown you the polling papers अभी हमने देखा था MG12. Similarly, यहाँ पे you will be sending them resolutions along with the notice that what all resolutions have to be decided by postal ballot. Notice will also be placed on the website. Registered post से भेजना है, speed post से भेजना है, website पे भी करना है, advertisement भी करनी है, English newspaper, vernacular newspaper. Have you read with me all these? Do you find it repetition? Rule 22 exactly a replica of Rule 20. What you have just done. In fact, it's mutatis mutandis applicable. It's in the same way applicable. Postal ballot beyond the said date will not be valid, like we did in the previous case. Board of directors will appoint one scrutinizer who is not in the employment. Scrutinizer will be willing to be appointed for the purpose of, on the basis of required majority, will decide how the scrutinizer will be appointed. Again, he will submit his report within 7 days. So polling में कितने days? 7 days. Postal ballot में कितने days? 7 days. How many days does the scrutinizer take in submitting his report in e-voting? 3 answers, 4 answers. I'm looking for more answers. Ishan, Priyanshi, good. Almas. How many days will scrutinizer take Ritika says 7 days. In case of e-voting, I'm asking Anubhav, great. So Soumya, great. Kushi, great. Miss P, Rajgu, great. All of you, 3 days is the correct answer. Both the Soumyas are correct. Good. So he will either manually or electronically record their things. See, e-voting, electronical things are happening immediately. It will happen. For postal ballot, for poll, demand for poll, the scrutinizer will have to prepare, do a lot of manual things, preparing the Excel sheet. एक vote पोल कर पढ़ना पड़ेगा. Result has to be declared. Excel sheets will be prepared. So it take longer period. So that's why 7 days. So that is 3 days. Any assent or dissent received after 30 days from the issue of notice shall be treated as if the reply from member has not been received. So here 30 days cut-off date is also given for the postal ballot. Provisions of Rule 20, thank God, will apply mutatis mutandis to electronic means वाला. तो एक अगर आपने लर्न कर लिया तो सफिशिएंट है. सिर्फ 3 days and 7 days का फर्क था. समझ आ रहे हैं स्टूडेंट्स? That was the only difference. And this is the only difference. Following are the items which are to be transacted only by postal ballot. Number 1, altering the object clause of memorandum. Chapter 2 में कुछ ऐसा पढ़ा था क्या आपने इनकॉर्पोरेशन में? ऑब्जेक्ट क्लॉज मेमोरेंडम का ऑल्टर करना होता है. आर्टिकल्स में जब ऑल्टरेशन करनी होती है, रिमूवल ऑफ प्रोविजंस ऑफ सेक्शन 2 क्लॉज 68, entrenchment provisions, do you remember? In those kind of things, postal ballot is required. Changing the registered office, changing the object for which the money has been raised, issue of shares with differential rights, TVRs you have done with me, variation section 48, variation of the rights of the shareholders, chapter 4 you have done with me, buyback of the shares, याद है आपको section 68 में पढ़ा हुआ है. Election of a director, ये 151 ये फाइनल का सिलेबस है, बट सिर्फ आपको they're just trying to tell you that these are the cases where postal ballot is required. Just a reading you have to give. Sale of whole of the undertaking under 180, giving any loan or guarantee or providing any security under section 186. Only in these cases postal ballot voting is mandatory. One person and other companies having 200 are not required to transact. एक हमने transaction पढ़ी है, वो listed companies and more than 1000 उनके लिए e-voting है. किसके लिए नहीं थी? निधि and institutional investors के लिए नहीं है. किसके लिए postal ballot नहीं applicable है? Which are the companies which are not required to transact? Please write it down in the chat box. Copy it from here and write it down, please. See it, what is written on the slide, and copy it in the chat box. Which are the companies which are not required to transact business through postal ballot? Hurry up. Cheating करके लिखना है बेटा. उसमें भी time लग रहा है. So many sections are left. Hurry up. OPC and companies having less than 200 members. Very good. Great. Finally, we are done with section 106, 7, 8, 9, 10 relating to voting. Please इसको आराम से पढ़ लेना. हिंदी में पहले बताती हूँ. आराम से एक स्टोरी समझकर इसको पढ़ना. स्क्रूटनाइजर आया, डब्बा लेकर आया, लॉक एंड सील है, उसमें वोट्स डली हुई है, रिपोर्ट बना रहा है. इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मीन्स में आप घर में बैठे हो, वहां से आपने बटन क्लिक करा, वोट डाल दी, स्क्रूटनाइजर अपॉइंट हुआ, 3 days में रिपोर्ट बना रहा है. पोस्टल बैलेट भी सिमिलर प्रोसीजर है. तीनों मिलते जुलते हैं. आराम आराम से पढ़ोगे, लर्न हो जाएगा. I cannot say that it is not important. Everything is very important, but it is very basic. Very, very basic. If you'll read it, not twice and thrice, children, it will get freezed in your mind. Trust. But जहां जहां मैंने गोले लगवाए हैं, 0.7 days, 3 days, वो थोड़ा learn करने वाला part है. बाकी सिर्फ एक understanding is sufficient. Okay? Understood, children, students, everybody in English. I'm trying to tell you that just give it a fair reading. All these voting is entire procedure is simple. Now let's start with section 111. That is circulation of members resolution. So I was telling you that suppose there are 5 resolution on which you want to pass the decision. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There is one member who wants to get another resolution added to this. कि 6 होनी चाहिए, 5 नहीं. हमारी मीटिंग हो रही है, मुझे एक और एजेंडा देना है जिसपे हमें डिस्कस. he wants to give another sixth resolution to be added. Or there is another fifth resolution in which he wants to recommend his changes. Say, for example, Renu is to be appointed as director of the company, and one of the member, Mr. Ray, says, I think instead of Renu, somebody else should be appointed. He wants to say something related to one of the resolutions. So I gave you two scenarios. Now I want all the eyes and ears here. Leave the voting part. Come on section 111 because we have to complete till 121. 10 sections are last sections are still left. फटाफट से करते हैं. One member either wants to add a resolution, another resolution, or he wants changes in one of the resolutions. If he wants to get a resolution add, he will give a notice to the members of the resolution which he wants to get add in the meeting. If he wants to change any statement in respect of the matters, then statement has to be circulated to all the members. If you want to get additional resolution add, you will send a notice to all the members. If you want any of the changes in the resolution, you will send a statement to the members. If you are sending a notice of a new resolution, it shall not be done not less than 6 weeks. In any other case, means if you're just doing a statement, then the time period is not less than 2 weeks. Along with this, a fees has to be deposited. क्या समझ आया? बहुत simple है. If I want to send a notice, I want to add a new resolution. What is the time period? Within how much time period I have to send? At least 6 weeks prior to the meeting. If I just want to change any of the resolution, I want to send a statement, then it shall be sent at least 2 weeks before the meeting. Clear? If any of the resolution which require a notice means adding of resolution वाला point है. कब तक भेजना था? Notice कब तक भेजना है if I want to get a new resolution added? Sleeping children, answer me. Yes, Ishan, Miss P, all of you. Jandra, good. At least 6 weeks before the meeting. Now, I have sent you before 6 weeks, but you conducted your AGM before that time period. Then also it will be considered as if the notice has been properly served. So you had conducted your AGM on 30th September, 6 weeks prior to this. I have sent you the notice. So I have already sent you the notice. It was to be conducted on 30th September. I have sent you before 6 weeks, but you decided to do the meeting on 25 September only. Then also it will be considered as a valid. ठीक है, सबको समझ आया? तो सर्कुलर ऑफ रेजोल्यूशंस में कुछ ज्यादा बड़ी बात नहीं है, दो ही बातें हैं. अगर नोटिस अगर ऐड करना है कुछ तो नोटिस भेज देना 6 वीक्स में, चेंजेस करने हैं तो स्टेटमेंट भेज देना 2 वीक्स. दैट्स along with the fees. Okay. And company will not be bound. This is very important. Sorry. This is very important. If you are just trying to circulate anything just to gain a needless publicity. So I told you example that Renu wants to be a director and Mr. B said, no, I don't want Renu to be a director. And you are publishing something really defamatory against that person, which is not good. If company feels that any other person he is aggrieved because of this and central government declares that the rights are being used just to claim a needless publicity, then the company will not circulate this kind of statement. Means आप किसी के खिलाफ गलत बोल रहे हो. No, Ishan, you can only adjourn the meeting. Okay. So if you are saying something wrong against a person just to gain publicity, politics होता है ना ऑफिस में, जैसे हम किसी के बारे में गॉसिप कर रहे हैं, गलत बोल रहे हैं ताकि लोग हमें पूछें, गलत काम. So ऐसे केस में company will not be publishing this kind of statement. Okay, and if any default is made, then the officer and the company who is in default will be liable of penalty of 25,000. Clear है? Learn कर लेना इसको. Section 112, very simple section. 2 minutes में खत्म हो जाएगा. If a president of India or governor of any state is a member in a company, I told you when we were doing proxies and quorum, I told you if there is a president of India is the member in my company, he will not be coming, right, as a representative. He can send any other person to act as a representative. So here he can appoint a proxy also who can vote by demand for poll or by postal ballot. Then this person, say for example, President of India is a member of ABC Limited. Now 112 gives the right to President of India to send any other person. Mr. M he has sent to be considered as the representative in the meeting. Now Mr. M will get all the rights of the meeting. He will deem to be the member of the company and he will have all the rights and powers of proxy, postal ballot पे vote करना, as if the governor could himself exercise. Governor या president खुद ये rights exercise करे. So Mr. P जो भी decision लेगा वो मान लिया जाएगा कि president या governor ने लिया है. समझ आ गया? Representative भेज दो basically आप. Similarly, body corporate जहाँ पे member है, एक company member है, मैंने आपको बताया था, उसने अगर किसी को भेजा है Mr. M को act करने के लिए, then Mr. M will be counted as one member. If there are two body corporates, body corporate 1 and body corporate 2, they have both sent Mr. M as the member of the meeting. Then he will be counted as 1 or 2 members. Then he will be counted as 2 members. Very good. Very good. Ishan, great. He will be counted as 2 members. This is what section 113 tells you. Simple. Then we have resolutions. Ordinary resolution, special resolution. मैम ये तो आप day 1 से पढ़ा रहे हो हमें. आज हम इसका मतलब समझेंगे. OR and SR. I still remember I showed you this MGT page number earlier also where we have discussed. Ordinary resolution means simple majority, that is more than 50% people say yes. Special resolution, now this is the wording which we expect students to write in the exam. Special resolution means votes casted in favor. Votes casted in favor should be 3 times more than the votes casted against it. Then only it is considered as S. So ordinary is, yes, Rajveer, excellent. 1 nominee for maximum 5 body corporate. And also we did that point that if all the body corporates are sending 1 member only, then it has to be somebody else who is present. Then only he will be counted as the members. Okay. So OR and SR, ordinary resolution, how many majority is saying? So 50 or 51 per, if there are 100 members. So 51 should be saying yes or 50. Jaldi batao, ordinary resolution. Very good. 51. Good. And special resolution में हम वैसे तो 75 exact 75% भी अगर हो जाता है, 3 times votes casted in favor should be more than votes casted against. ठीक है? हो गया ordinary and special resolution. Section 114 में यही लिखा हुआ है. All you're required to do by votes, whether by show of hand, electronic means, in favor of the resolution, where the proxies have counted, the votes shall be exceed the votes casted against, majority से, and यहाँ पे it shall not be less than 3 times. समझ आ चुका है? Learning part is pending on your side. Resolutions requiring special notice. Now, this is something interesting and something where you need to pay attention. Section 115 बहुत बड़ा section दिया हुआ है. Yes, Ishan, for the members who are present and voting, their votes will be counted. Here is your point come for invalid reports. If you are not present in the meeting, those votes will not be counted. Only the members who are present in person or their proxies who are voting will be counted. Clear hai? Everyone is clear on this point? Let me ask you a question. I think, okay, we'll take up the questions later from the study material because it's already 7:45. We have to complete the syllabus. Section 115. Section 115 tells you there are cases where special notice has to be given. एक होता है ordinary resolution, एक होता है special resolution. Section 115 बात कर रहा है special notice. Special notice is required where you're appointing the auditor other than retiring auditor, or you are passing a resolution for retiring of the auditor, or you are removing a director before his expiry period, or you are appointing another person as a director. So largely under section 140, so दो ही सेक्शन है जहां पे स्पेशल नोटिस रिक्वायर्ड होता है. सेक्शन 140 where you're appointing the auditor rather than retiring auditor. This you will study in chapter number 10 when you do auditors. And section number 169, this you study in your CA final, where you're talking about appointment of or removal of directors. So only section 140 and section 169 are two sections where special notice is required. So notice has to be given along with the company by member holding not less than 1% of the total voting power or at least 5 lakh shares. So whosoever wants to give this notice that I want the auditor to be removed, किसको भी लग रहा है ऐसी resolution pass करनी है, so at least he should be holding 1% of the total voting power or at least aggregate paid up share capital of 5 lakh rupees. Then only he can give this notice to the member. And this notice can be given only under section 140 or section 160. A notice to be given at least 1% of the voting power, 5 lakh मैंने बता दिया आपको, shall be sent to the company not earlier than 3 months, but at least 14 days before the date of meeting. Now, ये सुनने वाली बात है, please ध्यान दीजिए. Now, if I'm sending a special notice for the meeting, it has to be given 14 days prior to the meeting. But not more than 3 months prior. कहते हैं आप मुझे 14 days पहले दे देना स्पेशल नोटिस, बट एटलीस्ट 3 महीने से पहले मत दो. 14 days पहले देना तो कभी भी मत दे सकते हो, 14 days minimum. So, but maximum not more than 3 months. Everybody understood? Notice shall not be earlier than 3 months, but at least 14 days before the meeting in which this resolution is to be passed, exclusive of the day on which the notice is given and day of. Company, when receive this notice, will give the members the notice of the resolution at least 7 days prior to the meeting. अब company के पास ये notice आ गया कि हमें special notice आ गया कि ये वाले director को appoint मत करो या फिर ये वाले director को remove कर दो या auditor को appoint करो, तो company कब भेजेगी notice members को? 7 days before the meeting. When it is not practicable to give the notice, तो चुपचाप newspaper में दे देना, English newspaper and vernacular newspaper. And at least 7 days before the meeting, it shall also be published on the websites and also be given in the newspaper. So what are the 3 dates for section 115? कैसे याद रखना हमने? Section 115, point number 1, section 140 के लिए या फिर section 169 के लिए आपको auditor या director को appoint करना है, remove करना है, तब आप special notice दे सकते हो. Who can send a special notice? Answer with me, students. Why are you sounding so dull? Chapter is lengthy. I do understand. I 100% agree with you that so much of information is going in your brain. I know everything. That's why I'm speaking it in a speed. You are listening to me for the first time. It is absolutely normal to get anxious and worried when you have too many sections. But we already told you MGT is a lengthy chapter, students. When we are studying and reading for the first time, we do find the information a lot. But trust me, students, once we are done with the lecture, you will do a second revision sitting at home, reading out the provisions. All my words will be coming back to your mind. You will remember each and every provision, but you will have to give it a third reading for learning. So one is when we do it and listen with the teacher. Second is we are reading and understanding what a teacher has told us. Third is your actual learning part. And fourth is your revision. At least these 4 times this information should have been passed in front of your eyes. Then only you are able to write your answer sheets very well in the exam. Okay, so don't worry. Is that fine, students? Understood? Yes, Harshada, definitely the member will send the notice. Which member? Now tell me quickly, answer me. Who is going to send the notice? Number of members who are going to send the special notice shall be those who are holding not less than, so at least 1% of the total voting power he should be holding or having a minimum of 5 lakhs paid up share capital. What is the third point? The notice shall be given by the member 14 days prior to the meeting, but not more than 3 months prior. Very good, Miss P, Soumya. And what is the fourth condition? What is the condition for 7 days? Hurry up, everybody tell me. Company will send the notice to the members at least 7 days before the meeting. Anyone having any doubt in section 115, raise your hands and discuss. किसी को कोई भी doubt, because now just 2-3 simple sections are only left, not too technical. Section 115, anyone having any doubts? Sangeetwani says, no, ma'am. Clear. Great. Everybody? So quickly tell me, everybody understood? Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Okay. Thank you. Khushi says, no doubt. Very good. Almas, Miss P, very good. So May Singh, 14 days. 14 days मतलब अगर मैं 1% of the shareholder voting power हूँ जो भेज रही हूँ, तो मुझे at least 14 days prior to the meeting ये notice company को भेज, and company फिर 7 दिन पहले members को भेजेगी. Very good, Soumya, Rajveer, everybody. Nidhi, 113 में क्या नहीं समझ आया? Ask. So Nidhi, 113 section simply tells you, अगर कोई company किसी में member है, तो कंपनी खुद तो जाएगी नहीं मीटिंग अटेंड करने, तो किसी को अपॉइंट कर देगी, तो वो जिसको अपॉइंट करेगी वो रिप्रेजेंटेटिव को मेंबर मान लिया जाए. He will have all the rights to vote in the meeting. Okay? All right. So I'm glad to hear everything clear, ma'am. So great. So amazing. Good. Let's move ahead. Section 116. Section 116 simply tells you that the meeting adjourn होती है. मुझे बताओ कभी meeting adjourn होती है? Yes, ma'am. Meeting adjourn होती है. हमने पढ़ा हुआ है meeting can get adjourned. So now the meeting was supposed to be held on 1st October 2023. Why did I adjourn the meeting? Because the quorum was not present. So I adjourned the meeting to say 7th October 2023. Now, on 7th October, a resolution was passed by the company or shareholders or board of directors. Now, children, tell me one thing logically. This meeting was actually to be held on 1st October and I've adjourned the meeting on 7th October. Now, whatever resolutions we have passed on 7th October, will it be considered as the resolution passed on 1st October or the resolution passed on the adjourned meeting day? Will it be considered as the resolutions passed on adjourned meeting, that is 7th October, or it will be considered as the 1st October resolutions? Jaldi batao, jaldi. Khushi, correct. Dhanush, wrong. Soumya, wrong. Naina, correct. Almas, correct. No, Mohammed Farhan, good. Shalini, good. One Soumya is correct, one is not. Adjourned meeting, very good, Soumya. Ma'am, we can't give retro. Yes, Ishan, you cannot give retrospective effect. Excellent. Arshada, wrong. So this is section 116 trying to tell you that now it will be considered as if the resolutions are passed on 7th October 23. Means the resolution will be treated as has been passed on the date in which it has been passed, shall not deem to have been passed on any other date. Means earlier date नहीं मानोगे आप, 7th October को ही adjourned meeting को ही final date मानोगे. फटाफट से अपने नोटबुक में स्टडी में लिख लो, if the meeting was to be held on 1st October, adjourned meeting held on 7th October, resolutions passed on 7th October will be considered resolutions passed on 7th October will be considered as if the meeting was held on 7th October only. As if the meeting was held on 7th October only and not on 1st October. Clear? Section 117. Section 117 is nothing. It is simply trying to tell you that whatever resolution you pass along with the explanatory statement, everything has to be filed with whom? Everything has to be filed with all the resolutions and everything has to be filed with the ROC within how many days? Excellent, Jayandra, Shalini, Miss P, Shan, very good. Within how many days? Within 30 days. Simple. So if you don't file, there will be a penalty of 10,000 rupees and 100 rupees, maximum of 2 lakh rupees. So 117 सिर्फ यही बताता है कि सारी resolutions and agreements have to be filed with ROC in MGT 14 form. You want to see MGT 14 form? So here is MGT 14 form. All the resolutions and agreements are to be filed with the registrar. Name of the company will be given. All the details will be given. Date of dispatch of notice. What resolution was passed by postal ballots. Other resolutions. Number of resolutions. Details of the resolutions will be given. Sections under which the resolutions are passed. What was the purpose of passing the resolution? What was the subject matter of the resolution? Indicate the authority who is passing. Board of directors की meetings हैं, shareholders की हैं, special resolution है, ordinary resolution है. Everything you have to inform ROC. You're a company, you have to tell ROC whatever you're doing. Permanent income tax number has to be given, PAN number has to be given. What are the agreements, how you have decided, details of the agreements. So resolutions also and agreements also. Whatever agreements that company has entered, that also has to be filed with ROC within 30 days of passing it. All these altered memorandum articles copies have to be attached, and a declaration has to be given that I have been authorized by board of directors to sign and declare all these requirements. Whatever is stated is correct. Everything like this. And also a practicing professional certificate. A CA will also sign it. That a CA or CS, a company secretary or a CA in practice can also sign this, children. So you can also do this kind of work when you become chartered accountants. You can also do these kind of companies ROC filing related work. Is that clear? समझ आ गया MGT 14? MGT 14 क्या होता है? All the resolutions and agreements, section 117 में has to be filed with the ROC in 30 days. Now comes your interesting section, which has something to explain you, and it's very, very easy also, and questions have been coming from this section 118. That does not mean that the questions will not come from voting. They can come, but there are many questions that have come from 118, and after the chapter is done, we are going to do question answers also. So every company will make a minutes of the proceeding. What is the meaning of minutes? Jaldi batao. Minutes क्या होता है? Summary. True and correct summary of proceedings. What is the meaning of proceedings, children? Proceedings किसको कह रहे हैं? Proceedings means meetings, resolutions passed. Very good, Miss. Proceedings जो आपने करी है, जो meetings करी है, discussions करी है. Very good, Rajveer Ray. Excellent, Soumya. Yes, Nidhi, this is the last class of this chapter. Don't worry, we'll complete the whole syllabus. Okay? All right. So summary will have to be made. The resolutions passed, all the meetings, whatever decisions have been taken, resolutions passed by postal ballot, general meeting, board of directors meetings, have to be prepared and signed in such a manner. So 118 tells you how the minutes have to be prepared and how the minutes have to be signed. इन्हीं दो चीजों पे क्वेश्चन आता है. प्रिपेयर कैसे करने हैं उसका प्रोसीजर पढ़ेंगे, और साइन कौन करेगा मिनट्स को, दैट इज समथिंग वेरी वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग एंड within how many days you have to file the minutes copy? Within 30 days the minutes have to be made. Within how many days you have to make the minutes? Within 30 days of the meeting has been done, minutes have to be made. Minutes are the true and correct summary of the proceedings. Just a second, students. Yes, students. So the minutes have to be made within 30 days of the meeting once the resolutions have been passed. And the minutes are the fair and correct summary of the proceedings. We have just read that. Number 1 point is covered. All the appointments that are taken So all the meetings, whether it's board meeting or committee of board meeting, the minutes will now, in case of now, we are going to understand how the minutes are to be prepared. If it's a board meeting, then what all will be included in the minutes? Number of directors who are present in the meeting. And in case the resolution passed at the meeting, who are the directors? And if there are any dissenting directors, they will also be filed. Okay. Who are the dissenting? What is the meaning of dissenting directors? Those who have not agreed with the shareholders. Ishan, they have to be prepared in 30 days. Okay. So in board meeting, please write down in board meetings the name of the directors present at the meeting and the directors who are dissenting directors which are not concurring with the resolution, their name has to be written. There shall not be included in the minutes any matter which is in the opinion of chairman defamatory, irrelevant or detrimental to the interest of the company. So if the chairman has the decision what is to be recorded in the minutes and what is not to be recorded in the minutes. So MCQ can come to you that what is the situation when the chairman will not record anything in the minutes. So you will write if any matter is defamatory or it is detrimental to the interest of the company or it is irrelevant, then that shall not be included. Chairman will have the discretion whether to include or not to include it in the minutes. So quickly answer me, minutes is the fair and correct summary. Within how much time period the minutes have to be prepared? After the conclusion of every meeting, within how much time period the minutes have to be prepared? Very good, 30 days. Excellent. Second question, in case of board meeting, what is to be recorded in the minutes of the meeting? In case of the board meeting, what is to be recorded in the minutes of the meeting? Name of directors, very good. Soumya, good. Mamidi Sethi, Ishan, Nispi, and dissenting directors, Anubhav, very good. And the dissenting. What matters are the chairman might not include in the minutes? What are the matters which the chairman might not include? If anything is defamatory, anything is irrelevant, anything is detrimental. So D, defamatory, irrelevant, and detrimental. He will not be including such matters. याद हो गया पहला पेज minutes का? Next कर. Where the minutes have been kept until the meeting has been concluded and called, all the proceedings, all the resolution, appointment of directors shall deem to be valid. So once the entry has been made in the minutes, it will be considered everything has been validly done. So it is the evidence of the records. So minutes are the evidence. You all know once we have documented the things, it becomes a record. So once the entry has been made in the minutes, it will be considered valid. If any default, then who will keep these minutes? As per the secretarial standards, these minutes are to be followed. ICAI, Company Secretaries of India Institute, will lay down the procedural rules, standards to be followed for maintaining the minutes. Any company who makes a default in complying with the provisions will be liable to a fine of 25,000 rupees. So आज वाले हमने 2-3 fine 25,000 rupees के पढ़े हैं, तो ये penalties learn कर लेना. Common penalties are easy to remember. And if default continues, 5,000 rupees. Now comes another very, very important point. If any person is found tampering with the minutes, tampering means छेड़खानी करनी. जैसे सपोज ये डॉक्यूमेंट्स हैं, ये मिनट्स पड़े हैं मेरे पास, कागज पड़े हैं, and you just go and you try to put something else in this or you try to change the minutes. Now minutes of the company are very important records. I told you it's an evidence. Everything has been validly done. You cannot tamper with it. You cannot do any kind of changes in this. If you try to do any tampering with the minutes, Then you are fined also and imprisonment of 2 years jail plus a fine of 25,000, which can extend to 1 lakh rupees. This is a very important penalty. It is an important penalty which you should know. Any tampering with the minutes is done, then there will be a jail of 2 years, fine of 25,000 rupees, which can extend to 1 lakh. So everybody must learn it. Clear ho gaya? Now, the minutes books are to be maintained. Separate minute books will be maintained for the meeting of creditors, for the meeting of board, shareholders. Simple si baat hai. Resolutions passed at postal ballot will be recorded in the minute books. अब पोस्टल बैलेट के केस में क्या क्या रिकॉर्ड करना है? एक था डायरेक्टर्स के केस में नेम ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स एंड डिसेंडिंग डायरेक्टर्स, याद हो. 30 डेज वाला भी याद हो गया. टेम्परिंग करा तो वो पेनल्टी लगी, वो भी याद. नेक्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट चीज क्या है? पोस्टल बैलेट की अगर रेजोल्यूशंस थी तो 3 चीजें रिकॉर्ड करनी है. Minutes of the proceedings shall be entered along with the date of such entry within 30 days. Every resolution passed by postal ballot, what was the result of the meeting? What was the summary of the scrutinizers' reports within 30 days? You have to record this. Now, a question can specifically come on postal ballot. So, postal ballot की resolution में आपने क्या क्या ऐड करना है? Brief report on how the meeting was conducted. Resolutions कौन सी पास हुई है? Summary of scrutinizers' report result. Again, everything has to be filed within 30 days in the records. Now comes your signing part. How the signing of the minutes has to be done. Minute book has to be initialized or signed. So one is that every page has to be signed. Say for example, putting your initials. Say for example, we have the student's name, Muhammad Farhan. So I will say MF is his initials, the short form. So Muhammad Farhan will put the initials on all the pages. Or it is Mamadi Seti Bhavya. So MB. So MB will be put on all the pages. Whosoever is signing will put their initials on all the pages. And the last page has to be signed. If it is a board meeting, it will be signed by the chairman of the meeting or the chairman of the next meeting. So if it is a board meeting and Mr. A is the chairman. So who will sign? Mr. A. But somehow Mr. A did not sign. Then Mr. B is the chairman of next meeting. Then who will sign? Mr. B. So board meeting में कौन sign करेगा? Chairman जो था meeting का, या फिर जो next meeting में chairman आएगा वो sign. If it is general meeting, minutes of the general meeting, then chairman of the meeting within 30 days. But in case he has died, this chairman, then a director duly authorized by the board. So in the first case, it is chairman of board meeting or chairman of next meeting. This is the case of BM, board meeting. In case of GM, general meeting, chairman of the said meeting, and if he is not there, then a director duly authorized by board. In case of postal ballot, chairman in 30 days. If chairman is not there, then by director. So same as इसमें. Chairman will sign. If he doesn't sign in 30 days, then director duly authorized by the board. I give you 2 minutes. Quickly read this slide and then I'm going to ask you questions. Read it. Done? Ready? Ready for the quiz on minutes? Everybody is ready for the quiz on minutes till what we have done. That is Miss P, that is included. Okay? That is included. For postal ballot, he has given you specific. Okay, that is included in the general meeting. All right, are you ready for the quiz on minutes? So minutes are a true and correct summary of the proceedings of any meeting. Has to be prepared within 60 days of the meeting, within 120 days, within 130 days, or within 30 days. Everybody has given the correct answer, 30 days. There are three matters which might not be included in the minutes, which in the opinion of chairman are dash, dash, or dash. Chairman might remove three kind of matters not to be included in the minutes of the meeting. Very good, Soumya, Miss P, Anubhav, my God, learn kar liya. Almas, irrelevant, very nice, defamatory, detrimental. Jandra, excellent. In case anyone tries to do any tampering with the minutes of the meeting, what can be done? 2 years imprisonment, nice. 25 lakhs to 25,000 to 2 lakhs fine, good. 1 lakh है 2 lakh है 1 lakh था यार 2 lakh क्यों कर दिया ज्यादा बढ़ा दिया फाइन ईशान मोहम्मद फरहान सौम्या अनुभव राजवीर मिस दिव्या संगीत मनी excellent 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 in case of a board meeting the chairman of the said meeting did not sign the minutes. Now who will sign the minutes? In case of a board meeting the chairman of the meeting did not sign. Excellent. Chairman of the subsequent meeting. बड़ी अच्छे से पढ़ लिया. Very nice. Good. In case the resolutions were passed by postal ballot and 30 days have passed, chairman has not signed because of his unavailability. Who will sign the minutes? Director duly authorized by the board. Very good. If it is a meeting in which chairman has not signed and a director has signed, was it a general meeting or a board meeting? There was a meeting in which, excellent. समझ जाते हो हाँ घुमाने की कोशिश भी करो तब भी हाँ जनरल मीटिंग सबने ठीक लिखा अब बताओ चैप्टर इजी लग रहा है या टफ जल्दी फटाफट से समझ आ रहा है Are you enjoying the class? Are you understanding? Will you give yourself such kind of quiz when you will revise it? Promise me you will study all the provisions of MGT by this weekend. MGT notes should be completed. Everything should be well planned. All the chapter, wherever we have highlighted, write down your penalties. Read the examples, illustrations very carefully and do all the important questions. You're asking me about questions now. The most important questions are one which are given at the back of the study material. So try solving those questions by yourself. Okay, students? Definitely. Good. Yes, Soumya, why are you worried? You'll get all these PPTs, everything. Okay, don't worry. All right, so minutes will be kept at the register. Now, where are you going to keep these minutes? How you are going to preserve it? Permanently or for some days? Permanently. Minutes have to be preserved permanently. And whose custody? In CS or the director duly authorized. Minutes will be preserved permanently in the custody of company secretary. So all the points of minutes we have done, how they are prepared, how they are signed, and how they have to be kept permanently. Now, the rest of the sections are just to go through. Section 119 tells you, can we do the inspection of the minute books? Yes, you can inspect the minute books within 7 working days. Anyone who has made a request shall be given a look to have a look at the minutes of the meetings. Otherwise, a penalty of 25,000. But free of cost कब आपको मिलेगा? यहाँ पे तो आपने फीस पे करा है. फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट कब है? अगर 3 फाइनेंशियल ईयर्स के अगर आपने मिनट्स देखने हैं तो फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट कर लो. Whatever I have highlighted in. All right. Okay. That's very nice, Sangeetmani. Great. Okay, I'm just making. Actually, technical support team. Are you there, Mr. Ayaz? Actually, I'm not able to make you co-host, ma'am. Sir, are you there? Technical support team? Mr. Ayaz? Okay. So let's continue. So is that clear? Section 119 simply talks about the inspection of the minutes. तो मैंने आपको बता दिया, इसको एक बार read कर लेना. Section 120 simply refer to the module for Rule 27, 28, 29. It simply tries to tell you that all the maintenance and inspection of documents electronic form में कौन कौन से रखने हैं. There are certain documents which are to be kept in electronic form. You can refer to the module for these rules. Section 120 tells you only this thing. Now, this is important. Report on annual general meeting, on which I want to show you one form also, MGT 15. So once you have made your annual general meeting, in which section do we do AGM? Jaldi se. 94, 95, 96, 97 कौन सा था AGM का section? Annual general meeting हमने कौन से section में पढ़ी थी? जल्दी बताओ मुझे. Very nice. Section 96. 92 annual return था Miss P. 96 is correct. So very good, Nidhi. You also remember. Great. So 96, now we have done the annual general meeting. So law says, section 121 says, whatever you have discussed in the annual general meeting, whatever resolutions were passed, whosoever was present, within 30 days, किसको inform करना होगा हमने? What do you think? To whom we have to inform? Please inform ROC within 30 days of the conclusion of AGM. Otherwise, there is a penalty of 1 lakh rupees. If you don't tell ROC, you have to tell ROC everything. So section 121 simply tells you that please file form number MGT 15 within 30 days. तो ये last की कुछ provisions ना बड़ी easy है. 30 days learn कर लेना. Minutes है 30 days. 121 report 30 days. Easily learn होगा ये. But अगर आज ही पढ़ा तो learn होगा. Hold पे रख दिया तो फिर time लग जाएगा. Okay? Hold पे नहीं रखना है. MGT 15 फटाफट से देख लेते हैं. Let's see the last form. Because I promised you all the forms. We have almost seen all the forms. Only one form is left. So this is your last form, MGT 15. So it says, according to section 120 of the Companies Act and Rule 31 of Companies Management and Administration Rules, SIN number, global identification number has to be given, name of the company. So this is your report on annual general meeting. Once you have done your AGM, you have to prepare a report in MGT 15 and has to be filed with the ROC. You will tell who was the chairman, whether he was appointed, what was the start time of the AGM, what was the end time, what was the venue, where did you do the AGM, everything ROC wants to know. It has to be in the records. Number of members who attended, quorum आया था या नहीं आया था. Quorum नहीं आता तो हम क्या करते हैं? If the quorum is not present, then what do we do? Quickly answer me. Adjourn the meeting. Very good, very good, very good. Business transacted. What were the results? What were the results of adjourned meeting? Postponement happened. So similar, adjournment or postponement, but we have already told you in the last class also, we are going to use the word adjourn. Any other points? Fair summary of the meeting. What is the another name for the fair summary? What is another name given under section 118? What is another name for fair summary? Minutes of the meeting. Very good, very good. And then confirm that the meeting was called as per the provisions of the Act to be digitally signed by the chairman. All these signatures have to be given. So section 121 simply tells you that whatever AGM was conducted, all its details, resolutions have to be filed in MGT 15 with ROC. Okay. I think we are done with the syllabus. So सिर्फ 119 मैंने आपको बोला है जो आपने सिर्फ read कर लेना, maintenance of documents. All right. Yes, Miss P 122 also you can read it from. It's just simply talking about the provisions of commencement of the Act. So you can give it a reading from the module. Okay. So let me just see if there is anything still left. We have done all the questions related to section 101, 103 in the last class also. There are few questions from 109 and 105 also, which I will upload on the portal. because ma'am is here, so you can refer to the presentation. All right. All right. Yes. Very good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Harleen ma'am, and good evening, my dear students. I will start the class from where you left. Can you just share the form, MGT 15 form that you just
Definitely.
somewhere? Okay. So, students, though form numbers are not a part of your syllabus, good evening, Nidhi. So, form numbers are not a part of your syllabus, and apart from that, even forms, as such, the format of the forms is not a part of your syllabus. But I would like to just a moment, beta. So I would like to add one thing here. If you see whatever we have been reading all through the act till now in this chapter, if you want to understand that, if you want it to get imbibed in your head and mind, then just open this form. Right now we are opening. We read about that in chapter 2, you read about that the name of the company is an important thing and you need a sin in everything that is important. So here we are saying that the name of the company. Then we read about the registered office, that whenever a company is getting incorporated, you have to get it, the address of registered office has to be there. So if you see they are writing the registered office, then ma'am, can you move it a bit? Scroll it a bit, yeah. So they are saying now details of the annual journal meeting. If I have to remember my sections and how things are moving, so what I can say, date of the annual journal meeting. So what will be the date of the annual journal meeting? It has to be, they will write the date, but how I will remember it? It is whether it is within the 6 months from the end of financial year. Okay. Then day of AGM. Is it on Sunday, Monday? Is it on a national holiday or a public holiday, or is it on Raksha Bandhan or anything? So day of AGM, they are taking care of such things also. Then start time of AGM and end time of AGM. For AGM, do you remember that what was the timing that they have given? Was it from 6 a.m. till 12 p.m. or 12 midnight? Was that something like that? Why are they asking for such informations? They are asking for such information so that they can see that whether it's on time, within the time frame that they have given, 9 to 6. Then whether the chairman of the meeting was appointed, because we have a specific provision for that also. Then the number of members attended the meeting. Why are they asking for the number of members? Then they can see that whether the quorum was present at the time of transacting any transactions. Okay. Then see, the next question is this only, whether the requisite, first of all, whether the requisite number of members was present. Then they are asking that whether the requisite quorum was present. Then what was the business transacted? This, if you just scroll through it twice or निधि ओके मैं हिंदी में भी बोल दूंगी जब आप इसको देखोगे ना whenever you will be seeing this from you understand they are incorporating the whole chapter in it. What happens is we are just thinking from the point of view of it's a 110 or 100-page chapter, but if you everything can be summarized. You always keep on asking ना, हम कहते हैं सारांश पढ़ लो, ये पढ़ लो, वो पढ़ लो, बट अगर आप देखें तो आपके फॉर्म में ही बहुत कुछ आ जाता है. अब इसमें देखो उन्होंने बोला है कि कोरम प्रेजेंट था कि नहीं था. अगर आप उसमें नो फिल करोगे ना बच्चे, तो फिर वहां पे अपना देन इट विल automatically they will ask you that whether what is the day of the adjourned meeting. See, आपके पास रीजंस हैं, सब कुछ है. मैम थोड़ा सा और नीचे करेंगे, आप स्क्रॉल करेंगे. ओके, a bit more I want to see, make them see something. Okay, हमने ऊपर एक क्वेश्चन पूछा था चेयरमैन से रिलेटेड कि क्या चेयरमैन था. देन दे आर आस्किंग कि उससे बोलो कि वो साइन करेगा, और अगर वो नहीं है, रिमेंबर द प्रोविजन, मैम ने अभी पढ़ाया था, तो कौन साइन करेगा. डिन मांग रहे हैं, लेकिन किसका मांग रहे हैं, डायरेक्टर का मांग रहे हैं, सीईओ या सीएफओ का मांग रहे हैं, और कंपनी सेक्रेटरी है तो उसका मांग रहे हैं. प्रोविजन उन्होंने डायरेक्टर ऑथराइज्ड, व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से, आपने जो प्रोविजन पढ़ा है ना, उसी को ही उन्होंने हर तरीके से यहाँ पे आपको बोला। अगर 2 बार फॉर्म रख लिया तो कुछ चीजें लर्न करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी, आधे तो मैम ने क्लास में समझा दिया। लाइंस के लिए तो आपको स्टडी मटेरियल पढ़ना ही पड़ेगा, देयर इज नो डाउट अबाउट दैट। मैं आई कैन वाउच फॉर दैट। आपको मुश्किल लगे आसान लगे, लेकिन एग्जाम में लिखने के लिए आपको डिटेल बुक पढ़नी पड़ेगी, बट लर्न करने के लिए हाउ द थिंग्स आर एक्चुअली फ्लोइंग यू कैन यूज। ओके, आई थिंक it's already 8:30. So, ma'am, you can close it down. Today, I have come out with a rapid fire round for you guys since the chapter is complete. Each question is for 30 seconds. That will be flashing on your screen for 30 seconds. The way we did it last time, this time it will be more time bound, and just we will then at the end calculate how many correct and how many wrong. So, just a moment, I am just putting on the timer also. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. But it's opening.
It's opening, it's not visible.
Yeah, now it's visible.
Okay. Thank you. So I'm just starting with and I'm putting on my timer. Give me a second. Okay, I'm starting with my stopwatch. Hello. Your time starts now.
Some of them are sending the answers to me. So you can click on answers to everyone so that everyone can see the answers, child.
Read the students so well that they don't need 30 seconds.
Yes, Sangeet Bani, that was for the gap that you have written. Dhanush, when you click on the chat box, there is an option for on the Dropbox now where the chat is there. You can click for everyone. Then the message will go for everyone. You can ask, is there any exception to this?
All right, time up. Okay, so I will be just sharing across the answers and you please check it from there. The answer to the first question is yes, within 6 months from the end of financial year. Can be held on a national holiday. Can it be held on Raksha Bandhan? Yes, it can, because Raksha Bandhan is not a national holiday.
Even on Sundays.
Yes, it can be held on Sundays. Other than the registered office, most of you must have written it correctly. Yes, the articles permit and with the proper resolution. So the fourth question was, who can call the AGM or who can convene the AGM? It's the board of directors or so it has to be convened by the board of directors, but it can be convened at the call of requisition. Okay. Next is, can the board refuse to call an AGM? Do they have the power to say no? They cannot say no if the valid number of people are saying that we have to. People here means requisitionists are giving the application for convening a EG. So the next question was, if the board fails to call the EGM for XYZ reasons, then who can convene the EG? Then the requisitionists themselves will convene the EG. Next is, how many clear days notice is required? So it's 21 clear days. So 21 clear days में total आपका दो इधर पोस्टल के केस में अलग होता है और हमारा आज के डेट में क्योंकि इलेक्ट्रॉनिक शुरू हो चुका है तो इट्स डिफरेंट. ओके, डू रिमेम्बर दिस प्रोविजन क्योंकि आजकल इस पे बहुत क्वेश्चन आने लगे हैं. ईमेल के केस में क्या होता है, एक बार आपकी मेल शूट हो गई तो क्या आप उसको मान सकते हैं कि नहीं मान सकते कि हाँ हमारी साइड से तो चली गई. सो दीज प्रोविजंस आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एंड क्वेश्चंस आ रहे हैं रिपीटेडली इन चीज. Can a shorter notice than 21 days be given? Yes. And then they have a condition also. 95% consent has to be there. Next is, can a notice of journal meeting be sent by electronic means? Obviously, the answer is yes. Then quorum for meetings. Quorum is also very important. Section 103, especially when they are asking about, if you see that for public company, the limits that they are given, then they are also writing the or as prescribed, number higher prescribed by the article. So many times students ask this question that why my answer is wrong, because they are just sticking to the point of how many members, like 15, 30 that they are giving, but they are not looking at how many are written in the articles. Then the next question is that proxy, can a non-member be a proxy? Yes, obviously. Then the last question was with the relationship was, can a proxy speak at the meeting? He has a right to vote on his own proxy.
Demand for vote.
Yes. And out of these 12, now quickly tell me how many correct and how many.
Okay, some of them have written to me 11 out of 12. Rajveer,
Great, Ishan, Soumya, very nice.
Good, Soumya.
अनुभव 10.5 क्या होता है? अच्छा, आधा आंसर सही था. सोमेश 10, very nice. Sorry. So, Nidhi, very good. I'm so happy that you people are doing so well. You have still not revised everything. Today only your chapter was finished, and then you are doing so well that very good, सौम्या. अगर आप इन चीजों को अच्छे से करते जाएंगे. अच्छा निधि, you have raised your hand. What do you want to say, बेटा? No, I don't. Nidhi, if you are not able to unmute
Do you
yourself,
want to ask something? Nidhi, do you want to ask something?
ma'am, ये question WhatsApp. You want them to be put on the WhatsApp? Next class में मैं और question पूछूंगी and then I will give you more questions. There's nothing like that to be WhatsApp. ये simple आपके questions हैं, okay? जो मैम आपसे पूछते हैं हम आपको प्रोविजन को ही डिफरेंट तरीके से रिवाइज करने के लिए बार बार पूछते हैं. And otherwise, I will ask Ajit ji to kindly put it on the WhatsApp. Okay. So, ma'am, that's all from my side, and it was.
Yes, ma'am.
It was all from my side, and please, students, continue your studies. अगर इसको मैम ने एक बहुत अच्छी बात कही कि अगर आपको इसको माइंड में बैठाना है ना, तो इस वीकेंड इसको प्लीज पूरा कंप्लीट करना है.
Yes.
So, take the thank you, Anubhav. So, ma'am, field is all yours now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. You always make the session more bright and cheerful. And thank you, students. Thank you,
Thank
Rajveer,
you, students.
for writing beautiful compliments. Thank you, Rajveer. Thank you, Soumya. Even I'm going to miss you all. So all the best. Thank you, Anubhav. Thank you, Miss P. So children, please revise this chapter thoroughly and give time to yourself and keep studying. All right. See you all soon. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. So we are done with the session.